StarCraft-wise for that, so seems like a good cause.
Yeah, they've also done stuff with Child's Play 2, which I didn't know that beforehand, but either way I still would have chose them just because they're such a good group of guys and they're from my area, plus it's game related, so a lot of my fans and stuff would like feel good donating towards that. So that's why I chose them, and hopefully if the response continues to be this good, I'll be able to do different charities in the future. But for now it's just Child's Play.
Well, I'm sure that's a good thing. Are there any other interesting ideas having to do with Husky coming up in the future? I know you did your esports report a couple of months back, and etc. And what's coming up on the horizon, basically?
Well, it's good that you mentioned the esports report because I do actually still plan to do stuff with that. I know I haven't even logged into that account for probably over a month by now, but it's just I haven't had as much free time as I usually do, and so because of that, I want to at least do my commentaries in the free time that I still have left, because that's always been my main thing and what I enjoy doing the most. And so I do plan to do esports reports still. It's just, I mean, there's the Artosis show, which covered a lot of the basics already, so I kind of wanted to focus more on my commentaries because I think that's what people enjoyed the most. But in the future, hopefully I can do esports report once I get a little more time off, maybe during summer or something like that. But for now, it is still focusing on the commentaries because, like I said, they're super fun. I can barely stop myself from doing them.
Alright, well, we'll see, eh? However, turning to the current state of StarCraft, the game, the one thing that makes us all want Hwaseung Oz jacket. Shall we talk a bit about the OSL and the MSL and that spectacle, maybe?
Absolutely, I could talk about those for all day, easily.
We all can. So, just to recap a bit, the OSL was won not by Jaedong, but by Flash. And he looked very impressive after that win, didn't he?
Oh yeah, and the MSL, just how that one went down, it was pretty. I mean, I did talk about this in my last interview, but just the MSL was, oh man, that was so crazy because game number 1 and game number 2 were just really, really, really good, I thought. I only actually catch the end of game 1, but I was like, whoa, this series is not going the way I had expected it because of the result after game 1. And then game number 2 was equally as epic, and then it tied them up. And then game number 3, just I don't know how much your viewers know about what happened, but okay, yeah. So the whole like power outage thing for the MSL in game number 3 was just, number 1, I was highly entertained because MSL has always been known as the least prestigious, and apparently they can't even run their finals correctly without power going out. So I was just entertained by that, kind of, I guess, in a little evil way. But then it totally threw Flash off of his game, and there was mad drama. If you guys were watching it live through, I think it was the Ruffles stream, he's someone that streams a lot on Teamliquid, then you kind of got filled in on exactly what was happening there. And so, yeah, there was mad drama, and it really threw Flash off of his game. But at the same time, I mean, no matter what happened, Jaedong still beat Flash, and so for that to go down like that, that is just a huge deal. And I was kind of happy to see Jaedong win because Flash did so well in the OSL already, which was really the one that you want to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys were watching it live, which a lot of people probably weren't, when the power outage went out, it was over an hour before they started playing the next game. So it was pretty different from anything that I had seen before.
Indeed it was. Not the climactic conclusion we all wanted to see, but unorthodox. It will be talked about for a long time for sure. Hopefully we get to see Flash and Jaedong meet again in a more straight-up street battle, maybe.
Yeah, it's also pretty funny that you say it that way because game number, like, first of all, it was the most hyped finals of a long time because it's the number 1 and number 2 players by far. I mean, they are so far ahead of all the competition out there that it was super hyped. It was like the dream finals, and game number 1 and 2 were setting it up for a perfect series because they were tied. They were both pretty close games. I mean, game number 1 wasn't as close, but they were really exciting games going into game number 3, and then just boom, it all explodes at like the worst possible time. So that is unfortunate, but either way, it's something for that reason you'll remember it, and I think it'll make MSL more popular next season because people want to see if they make the same mistakes or not. So I don't know, that's just how it went down, and I'll definitely remember it for a while.
Indeed. It looks like it's going to be at least another season of Pro StarCraft in Korea, since the StarCraft 2 beta well, it might be out tomorrow or in October or whenever, but it looks like we're going to have more action to look forward to. But at the moment, there's a lot of action going on. Just an hour or so ago, the TSL games for this weekend were played, and I haven't actually watched them yet. I'll do that tomorrow with my coffee, but can you tell us a bit about the action that has gone down this past weekend and what you think about it?
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't realize that those games were so soon because the day one were, at the time of this interview, they were yesterday. But after checking out the results, so I'm gonna spoil them for you guys if you haven't. If you haven't watched it yet, then you should go watch those because I'm actually really, really looking forward to watching those games. But there was Noni versus Tarson, and Tarson is one of the players who I remember way back in my Valor days, which were my very, very first commentaries getting started. He was one of the players in those commentaries, and also Cole versus Phoenix. Phoenix was also one of the players. But Noni was able to take Tarson 3-0. Which is crazy because Noni has been playing so well. He did a really good showing against Idra, which was very exciting to watch. And honestly, I think that Noni could have taken it from Idra if Noni had practiced more, which apparently Noni had only practiced for about a week before the Idra versus Noni games. And so for Noni to lose 3-1 to Idra and then move on, I can't remember off the top of my head who he played, but he 3-0'd them and then he advanced to Tarson and also 3-0'd him. The only games he's lost so far in this tournament are against Idra, and so for him to 3-0 that very convincingly, that's awesome because I'm really excited for Noni because number one, I'm from America, and number two, he's been retired for so long from StarCraft. To see him just kind of do a full sweep, I think it really speaks to how good of a StarCraft player he was and how good of one he still is. And then Cole versus Phoenix, which is Cole is the Zerg player who's like 8 years old. He's like really, really good. Of course, he's older than 8, but he is super, super young, but super, super good. He went against Phoenix, and I think a lot of people actually expected Cole to win. I know that I sure did because of his. Sure. Yeah, his Zerg versus Terran is outstanding, but somehow Phoenix was able to win that 1-3, so I guess it'd be 3-1 in Phoenix's favor. And I really want to see those games. Unfortunately, just like you, I missed them, but I do want to see those games to see how Phoenix was able to beat Cole because most people are having one hell of a time trying to beat that kid. So if Phoenix was able to beat him, I think he's going to do well in the tournament as well. So those results I think are very exciting both ways, and I couldn't have asked for more exciting results. So I can't wait to see those replays. I'm sure that the VODs are up on Team Liquid soon, if not already.
Well, as soon as they reach YouTube, they will be added to the Polygon Review TSL list of games. There's a link in the sidebar next to this interview. But speaking of the TSL, it's open to speculate now. Who's going to be in the finals and semifinals, do you think?
I don't know the exact brackets. I do know that Idra's probably going to make it. I mean, I think he has to get through Noni first, and so it's kind of unfortunate we can't see an Idra versus Noni finals. But Rhett, since Sen advanced, or I think Rhett has to play as Zerg next. I don't have the whole brackets memorized, but
yes,
since Rhett did, since Rhett was doing well for a while there, his ZVZ was terrible, and I was really kind of worried for him because in the Team Liquid in the TSL brackets, I was looking down the line, and it looks like he's still gonna have to play a bunch of Zerg if he keeps winning his matches, and so I was really kind of worried about him. But then at Courage in Korea, he beat like 3 or 4 Zerg Korean players, and the last one that he did end up losing came down to like 2 geysers were the only thing that he had to kill. And it came down to like 1 or 2 units, so he definitely had that game in the bag as well. But I don't know. I think Idra, Noni, or Red are definitely going to be the ones to at least make it to the finals and take the whole thing, which I think that's kind of the most obvious predictions. But with Noni playing so well, he definitely is keeping himself on the radar, and he could give Idra a run for his money. I hope that Idra doesn't kind of neglect the fact that Noni is playing so well, and that Noni had very little practice the last time they met, so it's going to be a whole different ball game if they meet again. But, I mean, Idra's the one who's been in Korea for a couple of years, so he gets to play against the best of the best, and if not, then he just has an excuse to play on iCup for 8 hours a day without being yelled at by his parents.
Yeah.
So I'm cheering for Rhett and Noni, but Idra, I definitely wouldn't count him out for obvious reasons. He's still the favorite to win. So, yeah, just those 3 players. I wouldn't be surprised if they took first and second.
Well, we'll see. I personally hope to see a European Zerg in the final against, either Idra or Noni, or someone else, but that would be great indeed. So, we shall see. There are links to all the things we talked about in the sidebar there. Any final words, Husky, or...?
The only thing I can say is you guys should totally subscribe to me if you haven't. I still do a lot of commentaries. Just got to plug myself a little bit there.
Plug away.
And yeah, just because there's been so much stuff I've been doing, I really can't wait for the next month or so to happen because there's just so much stuff going on in StarCraft. I mean, now it's going to be starting up the MSL and the OSL, and there's Winners League too, which we didn't really talk about that. But Winners League is so much fun. That's really my favorite league out of everything in that StarCraft has to offer.
It's the best format.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I mean, like Firebat Hero just coming in and smoking a bunch of noobs. It's just absolutely hilarious and fun to watch.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so he's been showing good results in that, but I love that. So definitely stay tuned, and yeah, I just can't wait for the future because there's so much stuff going on. It's pretty epic.
2010 is a good year for StarCraft. So good I almost stutter. Any special plans for Valentine's Day?
No, not quite that I can think of, or anything that I would be willing to share. So it should be a fun day, though.
All right. Well, thank you, Husky, for letting us know what's going on. You take care. GG from Polygon Review, out.